What is the strongest variant in Skullgirls Mobile? Depending on the context, that could refer to several answers. If we're talking raw statistics, then it becomes clear as day. It's Flight Rep, followed by Gin Freeze and Shadow Puppet. But obviously that isn't the only metric we're going to look at, otherwise the video might as well end here. Of course, strongest could also refer in terms of ability. Usually this goes associated to really good abilities that can put the opponent under heavy pressure, such as Unholy Host and Death Wish. But we'll focus on those known for damage increase, like Porminator, Plot Twisted, Beast King, and many more. You may wonder why I'm bringing this up. Well, it's simple. Today we're gonna answer whether certain variants can achieve the fabled damage of 999,999. Or max output for short. For some historical context, the game used to allow higher numbers over the max output. But there was a major flaw. The damages could get so high, it would surpass a certain threshold and instead heal back all of the opponent's health. Some cases even more. The developers could have gone out of their way to fix the issue or fix the issue. And they chose to fix it. La puta que me parió! To be fair, it was a rather useless display, but so are stylish combos. So now that we understand the reason behind our goal, how do we get here? As some of you may have already guessed, we need variants that can cause significant damage, so we can see them pull off a max output. For this we want abilities that can increase damage on a significant level. Additionally, we want to seek out Enrage for buffs, as well as Armor Break and Deathmark for debuffs. Enrage and Deathmark are self-explanatory. They increase damage for attack and critical hits. To explain why we want Armor Break, in the case of sparring partners, they have a low but still present defense value, so it's convenient to get rid of it. It goes without saying that not everyone has access to all of these qualities. All except for one, Dream Demon. She's gonna be carrying most of the support duties for these experiments, because otherwise the number of people that can pull it off is really low. With the help of inner pieces, she can easily transfer her 5 enrages to the desired variant to boost. Additionally, having relationship means inflicting a long-lasting armor break and deathmark. But wait, there's more. There's a poorly explained interaction with deathmark, where it normally cannot be stacked, but if you were to have both a permanent and non-permanent deathmark active, they actually do stack critical damage. And guess who has perma deathmark access?
Out of the way, you!
Other potential supports would include the likes of Harlequin and P-Shooter, for specials and projectiles respectively, but it's most likely will feature the previous two the most regularly. Additionally, the astute viewer may have realized where there's Deathmark, there's also criticals, meaning crit rate and damage are gonna be very worth investing into. Lastly, this video takes heavy reference from the move scaling document, which features accurate outputs for each individual move, so major shoutouts to the authors of that spreadsheet. With all the preparations out of the way, we can finally start with each character individually.
Oops, I think I broke it.
Going in, I had high hopes for Annie. Shocking given how mediocre she usually is, but her damage output can reach insane levels thanks to the absurd scaling from Pillar of Creation. Just one problem. They just kill the training dummies too fast. So for convenience sake, we'll use makeshift dummies and have the final fight catalyst on the back. It's what I thought originally, but it turns out the length of relationships debuffs is not enough to get the most out of Redshift. Some cases manage to come out on top with little issue, being able to use 3 or so moves at most. Others can just carve their own routing through damage increasing. And a few of them simply don't cut it. No doubt if they were able to catch up to the double death mark, it would potentially be doable, but alas.
Everything I say is a catchphrase!
Theoretically speaking, every single Beowulf can achieve max output for all of his hits. His prestige doesn't have a set limiter, so we could make use of it for as long as we'd like. I say theoretically because... I mean, are you willing to wait for such a ludicrous amount of time to see the thing in the first place? Didn't think so. Plus, on a regular match, you're not getting close to that degree of damage at all. So because this will take longer than the release of Silksong, we need a faster way of figuring things out. Thankfully, Beastskin comes in to speed shit up.
120
His primary damage source comes in the form of debuffs, inflicted on him and the opponent. And sure enough, he gets the max output thanks to the help of Freeze Frame. Other Beowulfs don't make it unfortunately, barely getting to 700,000.
120 earned 25! 120 earned 25! 120 earned 25!
That is until I decided to switch my strategy, and instead of using arm or hurdle, I try my luck with the last hit of 3 Wolf Moonsault.
Blowing in the dark! Blowing in the dark!
Ooh-wee! This pigeon built like a brick house.
It's rather unsurprising Big Ben is one of the least capable of pulling off a max output. His damage can only be described as mediocre, with some admittedly passable move scaling. The best move we can use for this exercise would be Brass Knuckles. The only variant capable of getting a unique damage increase is Epic Sax. Heavy Metal would make it in had his increase not been tied to blockbusters only. I still tested it with Tuba Tuba though. In Epic Sax's case, the best we can do is try to deal as many combos as possible without killing the sparring partner. In case of Mega Sonic, he can more consistently reach his highest damage possible. Now it's guaranteed that Epic Sax should be able to pull off a damage above the displayed. Reaching a max output, however, I highly doubt it.
Oh dear, don't hurt them!
Parting Gift is the main move for Black Dahlia to employ when aiming for a max output. The name of the game is debuff stacking, so once again, Freeze Frame is highly desirable. I've tested this with several Black Dahlias to see if they were all able to get the max output with a bomb, and remarkably,
There's no escape! There's no escape! There's no escape!
all of them were able to pull it off. If I were to guess who would have gotten the highest numbers should the limiter be removed, then Soul Crusher would have decent odds. That being said, fuck it, here's Furmonger dealing max output with a tier 3.
A fine mess.
It's super effective!
You can has cheeseburger.
Diamonds Are Forever will be the main driving force regarding Cerebella. It's a move with a history of killing prizefight streaks in days of old, so it's only fitting to try and make justice to such a reputation. The main candidate would be the likes of Heavy Handed, thanks to gaining Enrage of her own. There's just one slight problem. Diamonds features a boost that only functions while the opponent is airborne, and Heavy Handed's Enrages get removed the very second you hit the opponent. Luckily this isn't a problem, as even without set boost she's capable of achieving the golden numbers. Regarding other Cerebellas, we'll actually make use of the air boost. And the attack that serves as a cutoff for this would be Toad Warrior. Not even needing her own boost by Charge Blockbuster, she can pull off the max output. Headstrong gets close but not quite.
Fooled me twice! Won't get fooled again!
Double is a very unfortunate case of having decent attack but not very useful moves for this experiment. The one that happens to deal the highest total is undoubtedly Nightmare Legion's final hit, which takes a while and can be detrimental for some cases, but regardless we'll try it out with Creature of Habit. Other doubles are relegated to Celia's Light, because it's faster and benefits from being a special. Despite what's having referred to as the bad scaling formula, Jawbreaker is our best shot for a max output, and lo and behold, by stacking enough buffs into her, she's capable of doing it. Comparing it to Creature of Habit, the difference is night and day. And any other candidate will do much worse.
Just you wait!
Also for the record, I wanted to try out if max output was doable with Alter Ego, but she has no readable damage input. Unlucky.
Sashat has betrayed me.
Eliza isn't particularly known for being the hottest hitting character out there. Her strongest single hit move happens to be a grab,
No mercy! You are broken!
which unfortunately rules it out for this. So instead we'll have to rely on the hilariously abandoned Throne of Isis. Well, I say hilariously abandoned when apparently Dive of Horrors is a thing. Our best candidate for the highest possible happens to be Inner Pieces herself. She's not statistically the strongest Eliza, but edges out Standout thanks to reliable enrages and being able to have a second support in the back. Although for the sake of testing, I tried luck with Sekhmet's Fury, but it proved unremarkable. Even still, the most Elizas can achieve is around the 500,000 area. Unremarkable, but unsurprising. As an interesting bit of trivia, the strongest hit doesn't go to Standout but instead Inner Pieces, so I guess Danny has more reasons to further shield her to people.
I thought clowns were funny.
Filia meets the ideal criteria for a max output move, thanks to Trichobizuar being incredibly strong. The easy choice is undoubtedly Jin Frizz, thanks to her permanent enrage doubling down alongside Dream Demon's timeless enrage. Can other Filias reach max output as well? The answer is absolutely, but not everyone. Bad Miss Frosty happens to be the cutting off point.
Filia, I think.
What can I say about Fukua? She's the one character that motivated me on this stupid path in the first place. All because of a funny little move called Head Over Heels. For every 10% health missing from Fukua, the move will deal up to 15% bonus damage. So roughly 135-150% extra damage. This in turn potentially replaces Inner Pieces since the bonus from the health loss is greater than that of the enrages. And somehow projectile bonus. I don't know how that's a thing. Now I already knew from experience the hottest hitting variants would pass the test with flying colors.
That's a wrap.
Makes you wonder if they would have been able to reach 2 million or even 3 million. Hopefully some math nerd out there puts the pieces together. Anyway, the real question is, can the weakest Fukua in Chameleon Twist, and consequently every other Fukua, pull the max output off? And the answer is yes.
I'll teach you to troll me.
Marie is one of those characters that instead of being focused on raw strength, she's much more utility focused. Despite having weaker statistics in general, some of her variants can pack quite a punch, such as Heartless with her bonus increase to skeletal summons. Case in point, Carpal Pummel will be our go-to for this experiment. It's too bad the best it can reach is around the 650k area.
Just perfect.
More damaging moves are available on Marie's arsenal, but they're either throws or multi-hit moves, so max output is an impossibility for the Skullgirl. Dahlia was right, they don't make them like they used to.
Hair today, gone tomorrow.
Miss Fortune is a funny character. Okay, that's a lie, but she's very strong at least. I'm sure most people may think of El Gato when it comes to trying to reach max output. And while a very strong single hit, it's not the main contender for the job. That would be 5th of Dismember. For 3 reasons. The obvious one being that its second hit is stronger according to the scaling chart. It possesses an extra bonus while the opponent is below half health, and much like Head Over Heels, it's somehow a projectile. Running the test with Furry Fury went just fine. Foot Soldier manages to pass it a-okay as well, though with Inner Pieces this time around.
Get ready for a surprise.
And that was all of the fortunes I was able to pull the max output off with. Hack and Splash got really close, but was off by just about 30,000.
Get ready for a surprise. Get ready for a surprise. Oh my god, look at her butt.
Let's get one thing out of the way, Flytrap can get the max output. Teammate deaths are factored in, and it's possible to further stack bonuses the same way as Beowulf's Prestige. Here's the proof by Hey Satan It's Me. There's a very obvious catch to all of this. It takes a long fucking while, and with Beowulf's prestige, you can be much more passive about it. Here, you gotta constantly kill Peacock off and have either Val or Marie revive her ass up, then repeat until the cows go home. But that's rather boring and ain't nobody got time for that. So let's do it the more conventional way. Quotation marks. Painwheel can also gain enrages thanks to the Grudge Marquee, though that will require enemy interaction for it to work. The first test subject that's certainly eye-catching is Buskill, with her access to permanent enrages, and sure enough, she manages to pull through. Flytrap also succeeds like this, with 4 deaths accumulated. However, Neuromancer and Painwheels with lower attack, while they do get high damage, they don't quite make it. Runner could deal some extra damage, thanks to actually not requiring the likes of Dream Demon in the first place, but it still isn't enough to get there. Surprisingly close though.
Damn. I'm gonna kick your brass!
Choosing which Parasoul to use for the best results is a tricky ask. For instance, neither Risky or Bombshell would require the likes of inner pieces to grant them enrage, but Risky requires AI interaction.
Take the shot.
While Bombshell needs to spam as many tears as possible to gain 5 stacks.
Ready, number 13. Wait.
Meanwhile, Somersault edges out both of them at first glance, with slightly higher attack, but has to rely on inner pieces for enrage.
Take the shot.
Bedtime.
And very unfortunately, none of them managed to make it. Not even with 5 tiers set up for critical mass.
Ready, number 13.
They got really close, but not one got to the max output.
1 out of 5 would not watch again.
Most people don't tend to think of Peacock or Pipolla in certain circles when it comes to dealing insane damage in a single hit. That's because we're mobile players, and Lonesome Lenny is pretty terrible here. That being said, the total output of Lenny is actually insane, provided landing a hit with it is a different matter, but we're using training dummies, so that's not an issue. Remarkably, the vast majority of Peacocks were able to successfully achieve a max output through Lenny. Goes to show he's a big guy. There's 3 exceptions though: Rerun, Wildcard, and Prison Plumage. They actually get pretty close, but don't manage to make it to the end. Unfortunate.
Bite my shiny metal tail.
Robo-Fortune is likely most well known for her beam spam, and on good sets, they can deal notorious damage. Sadly for this little experiment, Theonite Beam is her best move available. Magnetic Trap is stronger for sure, but it's also a throw, which automatically rules it out.
Magnetic trap.
Take 2.
The one positive Robo brings to the table is the lack of requirement for inner pieces, since you can camp in the left corner, then fire away. As an interesting bit of trivia, Robo-Fortunes do not share stats with each other, but it doesn't really mean anything here, especially since none of them can achieve the max output. The one potential exception would be Porminator, thanks to her damage increase on critical hit. While it doesn't acknowledge invested damage on its increase equation, it's irrelevant, since it's unlimited, therefore it could achieve the 9 digits. And it can be pulled off with enough time and excessive amounts of patience.
Please accept my friend request.
But good luck having that work out in a regular match.
Today's cartoons are so real.
Squigly resides on a similar spot to the likes of Big Ben and Marie, where their attacks have decent output, but their base attack often gets in the way of a max output. The highest total most of them can achieve ranges close to 400,000. There's one very notable exception, however, Blood Twisted. Essentially, she functions the same way as Beaskin, only this time replacing debuffs inflicted on either side to exclusively herself. That's what usually makes trying to pull this trick off much more difficult. No doubt, if she had as many debuffs on her as possible, she would easily be able to tear anything to shreds with basic hits. For the sake of the experiment, we'll confront a team composed of 2 Xenomorphs and a Darkmite, all within the Eye for an Eye node to get inflicted with Armor Break. with Final Fight as means of keeping the last target alive, and Blockbusted should we needed an additional boost. The end result is a total of 12 debuffs inflicted. Yeah, we missed the Blockbusted there, and a potential extra batch of debuffs. Not like Plot Twisted needed them in the first place, for she already reaches a 600% damage bonus. Rather insane, and makes you wish this tech was more useful.
Huh? I really wish I weren't here right now.
In terms of research, Umbrella hasn't been fully documented yet, or at least I wasn't able to find the proper documents. Regardless, it may not be spelled out, but it's safe to say our best bet would be Slurp and Slide. It's a single hit and deals fair damage ordinarily. One trick that also should be considered is that by using Slurp and Slide while passing through a puddle, it'll gain a damage increase. And combined with the likes of the Eager Deceiver, who's capable of hosting both enrages of her own, plus the ones from Dream Demon, I'm sure she can achieve 831,000 damage total. So close. Well, it's fair to say that if Eager cannot make it, the rest of them ought to have it way worse for comparison.
Someone rebury this one.
Valentine is well known for the high damage that counter venoms can dish out. In Second Encore, they're an actual counter, like a pathetic loser that needs opposing interaction to be activated.
Don't make me laugh. Basic tactics.
Immobile, you can chain 3 of these fuckers and cause notable damage.
Don't make me laugh. Did you miss me? Did you miss me?
It's compensated by Valentine herself not having all that much attack, but the scaling is not to be underestimated, and much to my regret, it gets very close but doesn't quite make the cut when trying out the likes of Treshik.
Don't make me laugh.
Just perfect.
However, not all hope is lost, as Surgeon General has access to Permanent Enrage, to complement the regular one from Dream Demon.
Don't make me laugh.
And sure enough, it's a significant boost, allowing her to achieve the max output the same way Buskill did. Who would have guessed the most forgettable aspect of the Fabled support would be the decisive factor? So to ask the question once again, what's the strongest variant in the game? I don't know, one of those. If nothing else, this experiment proves that with extensive investment, you can realistically allow a sizable amount of variants to achieve the coveted max output. And also for most cases, it can be a complete waste of time and money. Straight to the point, getting these absurd numbers only serves as a passable flex at best, and a heavy impracticality at worst. For a lot of these builds, I sacrificed many relevant stats and had to confront tailor-made enemy teams so I could witness the cool thing in the first place. If you ever consider going for these numbers on any variant, especially the lesser effective ones, do so at your own risk. So yeah, I'm afraid I wasted my fucking time with this video. But on the bright side, so did you.
You wanna play a little game?